Good afternoon, Bantam Black hockey fans. We are back at it here for some more Moorhead Bantam Black hockey here from the Fargo Woodchipper tournament. We're up at the H.A. Thompson Arena this afternoon, taking on Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids, SLPCR. Starting lineup for Moorhead: Colton Miller in the center, Steen and Kalhoff on the wings, Oswald and Blaha on the blue line, and we're underway. Spring Lake dumps it in deep. And behind his own net is Oswald. He gets up on the near side to Steen. Steen tries to get up to Colton. Now Blaha supports and tips it out to center ice. Spring Lake Park spins it back in. Dumps it off the backboard. And Oswald will lead the rush. He goes cross ice for Kalhoff. That pass way out of Kalhoff's reach. And that'll go the distance on Moorhead for an icing. So both these teams, from what I've seen this morning, they're both 2-0 in pool play. Moorhead defeating West Fargo this morning 10-3, and Edina last night. Lecky leaves it all in their board for Monshaugen. Monshaugen skates it out from behind his own net. Summers tries to center it. That gets taken away. Now Copeland goes near side for Brecky. Brecky's pass gets intercepted. Spring Lake working in down low. Centering pass, looking for a one-timer up front. Fanned on it. Now we'll tip it in low. Beckett brings the puck out, loose for right out front. Good job there by Donnie Copeland to poke it away. Monshaugen in across everybody, drops it off Summers. Summers shot. Stick save there by the goaltender for Spring Lake, and they'll send it back out to center. Copeland up in center ice. Beckett carries it in deep. Bud's making changes, tries the centering pass. Summers right on the doorstep. Gets a stick on it, but the goaltender will lay out and cover that up for a whistle. Kalhoff feeds it out to the point. Has Bargain. Throws a shot wide in the corner. Now Oswald will step up. Oswald skates it in down face-off circle. Shot and scored! Reese Oswald. Nice play there by Reese. Calmly walked in the face-off circle. Nobody challenged him, so he walked in and found a soft spot in the back of the net and put the Spuds up 1-0 here just 2 minutes into the first period. Spring Lake dumps it in deep. That puck flips up. Hasbargen gloves it down. He tries to hand it off to Kalhoff, just off the mark. Now loose up front. Shot there, saved by Davis. Oswald feeds up to Kalhoff. That goes off his stick. Now Spring Lake Park will dump it deep. Centering pass, deflected away by Colton Miller, and he hands it up to Steen, and the Spuds go up ahead. Kalhoff up ahead, cuts to the middle. Shot, score! What a move by Keane Kalhoff. Flips it in on the backhand. And Kalhoff puts the Spuds up 2-0. Two quick back-to-back goals here for the Spuds. Gives them an early 2-0 lead. Brecky feeds Woodard on the boards. Woodard hands it up to Beckett Miller. Beckett up to Monshaugen. Monshaugen skates around. Shot there. Goes high up into the glass. Memorial Flavors overskate that. Spring Lake clears it to the near side. They dump it in where Blaha will take control. Blaha leaves it for Mounthaugen. Mounthaugen rings it around the far board for Woodard. Woodard tips it off the board, but SPL there to take it away. Mounthaugen now throws out a pass off the center ice. Gets out of everybody's reach. Brecky hustles in after it. Loose puck picked up by Blaha. Blaha puts it on the near board for Mounthaugen. Mounthaugen cross ice over to Woodard. Woodard coupling on the right side. Walks in. Shot there. Deflected high off a defender's stick. And SPLR brings it out. Steen carries it back in for Moorhead. Steen gives it Oswald, taken away by Spring Lake, and they'll dump it out to center ice for Isaac Foss to pick up the loose puck. Foss loses control, rolls in on Davis, and Davis will cover that up for a whistle. $11:08 remaining here in the first. Spuds leading 2-0. Couple early goals by Reese Oswald and Kane Kalhoff. Shot there. Kick saved by Davis. And Kalhoff will pick up the loose puck. Kalhoff works his way through some defenders. Now leads the charge for the Spuds, 3-on-3. Poke checked away over to Colton. He throws a shot on net. And the goaltender will cover that up for a whistle. Fates off, comes back to Oswald at the point. He goes near side to Poss. Poss dumps it in off a defender's stick. Centering pass, deflected away by the defender for SPLR. Now Woodard tries to feed it over to Summers. Summers back to Woodard. Now in the corner, SPLR ringing around to the near side. Poss able to chip it off the boards and hold it in. He gets knocked off the puck, and SPLR sends it the distance, but it goes on net, so there is no icing. Davis throws a pass. It was a little late to throw it because it hit Oswald right in the stomach. Now Oswald will feed it up to Summers. Just gets outside of his reach. Summers continues on the forecheck. And Copeland, fresh off the bench, tries to play the puck, but puts the Spuds off sides as he chips it into the zone. 9:50 remaining here in the first period. Moorhead chips it back out to center ice. And SPLR will dump it deep. Brecky will race to it. Comes out to the point. Unable to hold it in and pulled free by Moorhead, and Steen gets it. He tries to chip it over to Kalhoff. It's outside of his reach. Now Steen takes it away. Tries to center it. Taken away by SPLR and dumped out to center ice. Copeland takes it to Steen. Steen tried to head up for Colton. That got intercepted. Now Copeland in his own zone. Moorhead pass off the mark. Icing's waved off as SPLR didn't play it. Now taken away by Mounthaugen. Mounthaugen tries a wraparound attempt. Slides through the crease all the way out to center ice. Beckett will hand it off to Reese. Reese to Hasbargen. Hasbargen back to Oswald. Beckett tips it up to Summers. Now picked up loose by Mounthaugen. Mounthaugen gets dumped at the blue line. Oswald, turnover at his own red line. In on his own. Shot there. Puck goes high up over the net. Oswald spins it back around. This pass out to Monshaugen's reach, and that'll be an icing on Moorhead. Colton wins it back to Hasbargen. Hasbargen's pass goes off a skate up front. Centering pass gets through everybody. SPLR holds at the blue line. Oswald held in at the point. Shot saved by Davis. And Calhoff tries to clear. This is where Moorhead can get themselves in trouble. They just pass to somebody, but nobody. There's another held in by SPLR. Now Oswald, he's going to push it out himself and make sure they get out of the zone. Now he drops it off for Colton. Colton's pass, intercepted. And SPLR comes back the other direction. Quick shot there. Blocker saved by Davis. Now Calhoff with the loose puck. Calhoff. He'll dump it in as he wants to go for a change. Blaha holds at the blue line and finally punched free by SPLR. And that one will go for icing. .6:45 remaining here in the first period. Beckett Miller in to take this face off. Beckett, quick shot off the face off. Not a lot on it. Summers spins around on the face off circle. Cuts in the middle. Shot there. Blocker save. Miller tries to chip it up to Blaha. Now Summers goes cross ice. Brecky will step in. He fans on the shot. Rung around to the near side. Blaha steps up to get it. But that pops over his stick. Woodard will be back to recover. Now pushed out by the Spuds. Summers with Woodard cutting down the middle. Centering pass. Beckett fanned on it as he was right on top of the crease. Summers working down low. Centering pass to Woodard. Woodard unable to get a stick on it. Brecky steps up into one. And that rolls in where SPLR will send it the distance. And that's an icing, bringing the face-off all the way back to the other end. .540 remaining here in the first. Steen hands it to Copeland at the point. Copeland sends it back down low. Chased down by Colton Miller. SPLR chips it out to the center ice. Oswald tries to handle Steen, then gets intercepted. Oswald will poke it to the board. So Reese Oswald's going to get a penalty. That seemed a little soft. So SPLR goes on the power play. Face off. Controlled by SPR down deep. Centering pass. That's kicked away by a Spud defender. Quick shot there. Loose puck. Good job there by Hasbargen. As the puck was laying in behind Davis. Loose puck up front. Now SPR stands in. Shot high up over the net. Summers tries to chip it out. And Hasbargen finally able to bank it off the glass and out, but that'll be an icing. Face off the boards. Hasbargen chips it out. SPLR sends it back deep. Now out to the point. Shot there, saved. Deflected to the corner by Davis. Now out to the point. SPLR, that one banks off of Steen. Centering pass, blocked by Hasbargen. Shot. There, just goes off the side of the net. Quick shot there, another save by Davis. And finally, Colton Miller picks up the loose puck. He'll chip it up ahead. And that'll be too far for Steen to catch up to, and that'll be an icing on Moorhead. So 40 seconds remaining here in the Spring Lake Park power play. Shot there, what a save by Davis. Point blank opportunity there. Quick turnaround shot by SPLR, and Davis there to make the save. As Blaha was there tying him up, not giving them get much on the shot. Mounthaugen wins the faceoff back to Copeland. Copeland gets it on the boards to Kalhoff. Kalhoff unable to chip it out. SPLR dumps it deep. Now back out to the point. Now looking down low. Centering pass deflected away by Blaha, and Moorhead able to clear. Good stick there by Garrett Blaha. Deflecting that pass away. SPLR will dump it in deep. Moorhead back to full strength. Blaha tried to hand it off to Mounthaugen, missed it. But up ahead is Kalhoff. Kalhoff with Summers. Kalhoff step. Oh, Summers just had a tip in. Kalhoff put it right on his stick. Couldn't quite deflect it in. Nice setup there by Kalhoff. As he calmly walked in, saw Summers on the back door. .245 remaining here in the first period. Spuds lead 2-0. Summers hands it off to Beckett. Beckett, quick shot there. Tried to deflect it off a stick. Now Summers with a sharp angle shot. Rebound came to the far side, near side. Post battles along the boards right here in front of us. Woodard in there. Oswald steps up. Shot. Bad save there by the goaltender for SPLR. And SPLR will clear. And that'll be another ice. Bring the face off all the way back down to the end. Beckett will take the face off. Runs into Summers. Summers skates up front. Shot there. Puts it right into the midsection of the goaltender as Woodard's standing on the front steps looking for a rebound. Again, Beckett wins it to Summers. Summers gets pinched off the puck, 3 against 1. Seems to be holding his own. Now Poff holds it at the point. He's looking for a deflection up front from Woodard. Oswald and Woodard step up. Woodard looking for the centering pass. Deflected away by the goaltender stick. SPLR chips it out. Poff tries to pinch the hold, but that gets past him. And Oswald will have to go back and pick it up. Oswald leaves it for pass. Now picked up by Beckett Miller. Beckett up ahead to Summers. Summers in through center ice. Cuts through the middle. Oh, still gets the shot out. I'm not sure how he got through there. Colton Miller sidesteps two defenders. Now Summers picks it up in the corner. SPL tries to clear. Poss holds it. Poss fans on the shot, and SPLR will dump it as they needed a change, and that'll be an icing on them, bringing the face-off back down. They're into the zone with 1:03 remaining here in the first. SPLR controls. They dump it out. Waha will retrieve it. Turnover. Rolls out front. Davis swats it to the corner. Well, centering pass there goes through everybody, and it's not on net. And Davis will glove save that. Colton in to take this face off. He wins it back to Brecky. Brecky over behind the net, rings it around up to Jet. Gets past Jet. Now Blaha supports at the red line here along the near board. Battle down here right in front of us. Colton gets knocked down. SPLR will dump it in. Now Jet picks it up in the corner. Gets it up ahead to Calhoff. Down to 5 seconds remaining. Shot there. And that's the end of period number one. So after one complete period of play, Moorhead leads Spring Lake Park Twin Rapids 2-0. Looks like we're just going to get a timeout here for the first intermission. We'll take a pause and we'll be right back with period number two. All right, here we are back for period number two. Goaltenders switch ends. Face off one back. Oswald Davis throw the pass. That's intercepted. I gotta leave that for defenseman there, Reese or Alex. Moorhead's gonna scramble to get out of their own zone. Punched up ahead by Steen. Steen and Colton tangle skates. And now Oswald will have to retrieve the puck. Now Calhoff up with it. Up ahead is Steen. Steen waits for help. Colton gets it over to Calhoff. Calhoff, quick shot there. Rebound. Tipped in by Colton Miller. It's a spin around shot by Calhoff, but I think Colton Miller was right out in front and got a tip on it and deflected it through the wickets of the goaltender, and the Spuds now lead 3-0. Mountaugen out the face-off, gets it up ahead to Summers. Summers hands it off to Beckett. Beckett with a nifty move there. Shot, pad, save. Summers looking for a rebound, but he was all tied up. That puck rolls on net. Summers in to take the face-off. Wins it back to Beckett. Beckett, shot there wide of the net. That exit attempt blocked by Beckett. He'll reach for it. Now Hasbargen will step up. Hasbargen throws it down on net. Rebound, shot, save, and scored. Cam Mounshaugen with the rebound goal. Hasbargen just flipped it in on net. Summers was there pounding away at it. The goaltender thought he had it in his pads, but it was loose on the backside, and Mounshaugen's there to tap it in. And the Spuds now lead 4-0. Brecky from behind his own goal. Mounshaugen throws a blind pass to nobody. Now Beckett picks it up. Spuds got numbers 3-on-2. Beckett flips it in on net. And Summers is there looking for a rebound, but nothing to avail. Colton in to take this face off. Wins it back to Steen. Steen throws one wide of the net. Woodard will chase after it. Now Oswald. This shot goes wide of the net. Now over to the far side. Chases it down as Woodard. Woodard tries to feed it up to Oswald, but he flips it up in the air. So Oswald will go back and retrieve to Blaha. Blaha up to the middle to Colton. Colton up ahead to Woodard. Woodard tries to sidestep a defender. Defenseman picks up the loose puck. Now Oswald picks it up to the blue line. Oswald walks in the face-off circle. Turns around, leaves it for Colton. Colton. Blaha. That pad save goes into the corner. Now Blaha picks up the loose, Colton picks up the loose puck. But that's taken away by SPLR, and they'll kick him out to center ice. Over to the near side of Blaha. Long cross ice pass over to Steen. Steen dumps it in. Woodard gives chase. Now off the bench is Beckett. Beckett hands it to Mounshaugen. SPLR takes it away. Stepped up by Poss. Brecky pokes the puck free of the corner. Poss pinches the defender up against the ball. Beckett in to help out. Now it squirts free to the other side where Brecky will get it up. SPLR holds. They look for a centering pass. That's taken away by Brecky. It's away by Brecky to chip it out center ice. Summers in on the forecheck. SPLR spins it back the other direction. And that's an icing on SPLR. 11:23 left in the second. Spuds leading 4-0. Face out, one back to Beckett. Beckett shot. And yep, that was touched by a high stick. Cam Mounshaugen batted that out of the air. So the face-off will come down to the Moorhead zone. Good call by the officials. Shot attempt, loose puck. And now loose puck in front of the net, taken away by Montagan. Cam up ahead on his own, gets a puck checked away. Beckett recovers. They'll send across ice to Foss. Foss up ahead to Summers. Summers loses that right across the blue line, and now Moorhead's offside. Oswald gets into the near side to Copeland. Copeland gets it up to Calhoff. Calhoff skates in. SPLR turns back the other direction. They'll dump it deep. Copeland will get to it. Copeland gets it out to center ice. That won't go the distance. So no icing. Woodard hustles to it. Woodard leaves a backhanded pass through the zone. Nobody there to pick it up. Now Calhoff picks up the loose puck. He'll work his way in. Splits the D. Gets bumped out. Loose in the side of the net. And covered up by the goaltender for a whistle. Out to the point. Copeland holds at the blue line. Summers hustles to it. Copeland pinches in to help hold. Beckett battles along the near boards. Now goes to the far side where Summers gets chased. Summers gives it off to Montagan. Montagan goes to the point to Oswald. Montagan back. Comes to the near side to Copeland. Copeland going to shoot. Fans on it. SPLR rings it around. Oswald able to hold. And they'll send it down. That goes off of Oswald. So no icing. SPL gets it first. Nice play by Copeland. Seen that pass and just jumped in front of it and knocked it down with his body. Beckett banks it off the glass. Long lead pass too far for everyone. Copeland tries to leave a pass, but that goes to an SPL player who shoots it where Davis deflects it up into the netting. 9:09 remaining here in the second period. Spuds leading 4-0. Right off the face-off, SPLR takes it deep. Quick shot there. Saved. Hasbargen clears. That one, I don't know how it got through. That hit a massive bodies up front. Because it's called hockey, folks. Cross-checking penalty on SPLR. 8:53 remaining here in the second period. .853 left here in the second period. Moorhead goes on the power play. Face off one by Steen. Give it to Blahoff. Blahoff to top to Hasbargen. Colton down to the near side for Calhoff. Calhoff and Steen. A little two-man game on the side. Up to Colton at the top. Now back to Calhoff. He tries to feed on the Steen, but SPLR steals that away. And out to the center ice. Colton hands it up to Steen at the red line. Steen hands it up to Calhoff. Back to Steen. That pass taken away. Now Blaha picks it up. Baja hands it off to Colton. Colton to the near side. Calhoff leaves it up for Jet Steen. Steen carries it in low. Now he banks out the boards, leaving it for Calhoff. Calhoff finds Colton at the point. Colton to Calhoff. All right, boys, you're getting a little predictable here. You're making the same passes back and forth, and SPLR just steals them every time. So we've got to move the puck around the ice. 52 seconds remaining here in the power play for Moorhead. This unit will be Mounshaugen, Beckett, Summers, Brecky, and Oswald. Beckett loses up front. Summers settles things down. His pass intercepted. Oswald skates it up across the blue line, drops it off from Mounshaugen. Mounshaugen skates it into the corner. Finds Beckett. Beckett's shot deflected off a stick and up into the netting. And we'll get a face off to the left of the SPLR's goaltender. Beckett leaves it up top for Oswald. He hands it down to Mounshaugen. Mounshaugen to Beckett. Beckett walks in. Quick shot there. Saved by the goaltender. Now centering pass comes up to Brecky. Brecky playing the big man in front of the net here this day in this power play. Summers tries to send it deep, but SPLR sends it down for an icing. 3 seconds remaining here in the power play for Moorhead. Face off. Picked up by Steen up to Blaha. Blaha will send it deep. Colton Miller gets to it. He gets brushed off the puck, and SPLR sends it up ahead. That pass gets too far for everybody, and that's an icing on SPLR. Colton into the faceoff. Calhoff punches it free. Colton sends it to the near side to Steen. Steen trying to get it back to Colton. SPLR behind the net. Colton Miller in the corner for the Moorhead. He looks for a centering pass, but SPLR just clears that the length of the ice to get a whistle. Woodard hands it up to Foss at the point. Foss gives it back to Woodard. Woodard centering pass to Summers. Let SPLR deflects that away and flips it out to center ice. Oswald goes cross ice for Foss. Foss gets it up ahead to Woodard. Woodard's tied up along the board. Now held in by Foss. He throws it in, goes off a shin guard. Now Woodard back to Foss. He throws one on net. That's deflected to the corner by the defender. Oswald puts a loose puck in on net, and Mounshaugen there to put the rebound in, and the Spuds take a 5-0 lead on the rebound, popped in by Cam Mounshaugen. Summers kicks it back to Foss. Foss fed it up to Mounshaugen. He couldn't control it. SPLR dumps it out to center ice. Oswald forces the player off the puck. Isaac clears it to the boards. Woodard hands it off to Reese. Reese up ahead to Mounthaugen. Into the zone. Now Oswald looking for some space. Comes loose to the point to Isaac. Pass. Flips it in deep. Woodard hands it off to Steen. Steen looking for a centering pass as Summers is on the back door. But SPLR steals that away. And that's going to be an interference on Moorhead. Isaac Foss is going to take this penalty. So interference on Foss, and SPLR goes on the power play. Delhoff. SPLR. Last one in from the blue line. Goes all the way around to the far side. Steen. Blasts it out. That's too hard, and that'll be an icing on Moorhead. 4:33 left here in the second period. SPLR clears to the point. Now working their power play on the left side. It's actually probably the right side, but Copeland picks up the loose puck. He gets it to Kalhoff, and Kalhoff able to clear. And that's another icing on Moorhead. Colton Miller in to take the face off. Controlled by SPLR. They put it out to the point. Centering pass. Deflected off a couple of skates. SPLR closed at the blue line, and they throw one on. And Davis will reach up and grab that one. That one was about 3 feet over the net. Because if it's 3'1", Davis can't reach it. Davis standing tall here today. Loose puck picked up by Reese off the face-off. Reese cuts in. Takes it all the way deep. And SPLR will ring it around the boards, and that'll be an icing on them, bringing the face-off all the way back down to their zone. 1:03 remaining here in the power play for SPLR. Out to the point, has Bargain. What a blast. Loose puck. Crash on the net is Colton. The goaltender dives on that one to cover it up. Face-off comes to the point. Has Bargain, throws a shot. Colton deflects it, and the goaltender will cover that one up. And SPL finally able to control. Spuds jump up on a penalty kill. Now it's a 3-on-1 the other direction. Pass goes wide. Woodard was hustling back on the far side anyway to cover that gap. Centering pass. Taken away by Moorhead. Woodard up ahead. Dangles around one. He's in by himself as one of the other penalty killers was getting a change. Now SPLR comes back through center ice. They dump it in from the red line. And Davis will cover that up. I'm not sure why. No defenders in the area. Three minutes remaining, 16 seconds remaining in the power play for SPL. Took out the face-off shot, saved by Davis. Another lost faceoff by Moorhead. Got to tie your guy up on a faceoff in the defensive zone. Brecky picks up the loose puck off the faceoff. Brecky able to punch it past the blue line. Now SPLR dumps it back in. Beckett will race to it, and Moorhead back to full strength. Beckett banks it off the glass. He goes cross ice for Brecky. Brecky taps it up ahead. Back through center ice comes SPLR. Blaha turnover. A big save there by Davis as he deflects that. Close angle shot wide of the net. Now a centering pass. Davis kicks that one free. Summers picks the pocket. Sends it out to center ice. SPL spins it back the other direction. He'll dump it deep. Brecky rings it around to the near side to Joe Summers. Summers up ahead. Summers tries the centering pass. Defender laid out for that one to block that. Now Beckett got a 3-on-1 against the boards. He loses that battle. They try to clear. Blaha steps into one. Quick save there by the goaltender. Minute 40 remaining here in the second period. And Copeland will settle things down in center ice. Copeland gets up to Mounshaugen. He'll dip it in. He finishes the changes for Moorhead. Turnover in front of the net. Colton gets tripped up, and SPLR will send that the distance for an icing. Minute 17 remaining here in the second period. 5-0 lead for Moorhead. Colton in to take this face off. Wins it back to Oswald. Oswald shot, rebound. And the goaltender will cover that up as Steen was on the doorstep. Colton chases after the faceoff. Loose along the board. SPL able to clear it out to center ice. Donnie Copeland goes cross ice over to Oswald. Up ahead to Steen. Steen drops out to Colton. Colton shot deflected. Now Steen behind the goal time. SPLR with control. They dump it out to center ice. Oswald will pick it up. He comes on the near side to Copeland. Copeland back to Oswald. Oswald looking for a Kelhoff cut through the center. 33 seconds remaining. Quick shot there. And Davis will glove that one and hang on to it. 29.7 seconds remaining here in the second period. Bugs leading 5-0. Summers, lead pass up for Woodard, just an inch out of his reach. Woodard recovers, tries to center pass to Beckett. Goes just past the net, and SPLR will send that one for an icing. A lot of icings, a lot of face-offs. .6 remaining. Face-off taken away by Summers, who throws a shot high over the net. Brecky steps up to hold, but SPLR dumps it out to center ice. Beckett flips across ice over there to Summers, and that's the end of period number 2. So, after 2 complete periods of play, Moorhead leads SPLR CR 5-0. We'll go on pause here for about 10 minutes as we'll get a Zamboni break and come back for the third and final period here from H.A. Thompson Arena. Oops, forgot to take it on mute. Quick shot there by Steen. Colton dives to the net. Here we're back with some third period action. Colton down in the corner. Centers it to Steen, gets through his legs. And Oswald will come back to center ice to regroup, get everybody on side. He leaves it for Blaha. Blaha, Colton up the middle. Now stolen away by Steen. Colton at the blue line, gets it poke checked away. Oswald carries it in, but Steen was tied up with a SPLR player at the blue line and couldn't quite get onside. Five-zero lead for Moorhead here, going into the third period. Waha kicks it free. He comes to the far side. Pass is outside of Montaugan's reach. Oops, sorry. Penalty coming up here against Moorhead. Hooking call coming up against Beckett Miller. Brecky throws that one out of front of the glass. Face off won by SPL. They throw it in from the point. Davis will reach up and glove that out of the midair. SPL out the face off. Summers pressures at the point. Now it's down low to Copeland. Copeland feeds it on the boards to Summers. And another shot attempt. Brecky able to clear, and Summers leads the charge back the other direction. Summers with Mounthaugen. Sharp angle shot, and goaltender will glove that and hang on to it for a whistle. Minute 34 remaining here in the power play for SPLR. SPLR carries up through center ice. They dump it in deep. Oswald races to it. That puck goes off Oswald's stick. Now back behind the net. SPLR centers it out front. Shot attempt. Kelhoff gets a stick on that and deflects high into the glass. Now Blaha battles along the boards. Or excuse me, not Blaha. Hasbargen. And another penalty coming up. It looks like Reese is going to go to the box for cross-checking. So now SPL will have a 5-on-3 for 56 seconds. Colton Miller out here with Hasbargen and Brecky. SPLR gets it down low. Sharp angle shot there, taken away. Hasbargen able to clear. His body's flying in front of the net, and SPLR have to get back onside. Colton wipes out at center ice. In pass Hasbargen, centering pass. That goes off of Colton Miller's skate. Sharp angle shot there. Davis sticks that to the side. Now SPR back to the point. Now to the near side. Shot. That one goes off of Davis's helmet up into the netting. Blaha and Summers will come out, trying to kill off Arena this first this 5-on-3 advantage. 19 seconds remaining. Summers wins it back to Brecky. Flips it up along the boards. Now it goes to the near side. Blaha chases for it. Now Blaha spins around, working by himself. And Blaha able to control. Blaha up the center ice. Feeds it to Summers. Summers in up ahead. Short-handed goal. Scored by Joe Summers. So the 5-on-3 hit ended. So it's a short-handed goal for Joe Summers. Still a short-handed as it was a 5-on-4 at the moment. And Moorhead takes a 6-0 lead. So now we got a running clock going. Summers wins it back to Blaha. Blaha feeds it over to Brecky. Brecky up ahead to Summers. Summers up ahead to Woodard. Gets poke checked off his stick. Summers skates through 2, not 3. Now another loose puck. Comes back to Blaha. Blaha calmly sends it up the center ice to Summers. Summers gives it to Woodard. Woodard leaves it to Summers. Summers lost control as he was on the backside all by himself. Moorhead comes back, settles things down. Brecky feeds Summers. Summers carries it in. Centering pass to Woodard. Shot there just goes wide, and Moorhead back to full strength. Now Blaha at the point. Blaha just dumps it in low. Brecky holds at the blue line. Punches it down to Colton Miller. And SPLR dumps it out to center ice where Kelhoff will knock it down. Kane up to the blue line. Kane looked like he took a hit on the shin guard or something. Oh, he's limping through the center of the ice. Kelhoff gets the centering pass and puts the blast in on net. Boss gets dumped down. Loose puck comes to Oswald. Oswald. And too much fooling around the blue line, and the Spuds are offside. Just under 10 minutes remaining. 6-0 lead for Moorhead here against SPLR. SPLR banks it off the glass. Montagan tries to glove it down, but SPLR chips it in deep. Oswald leaves it for Poss. Poss gets checked off the puck. Centering pass. Shot. Rebound. Bad save by Davis, and he covers it up for a whistle. That shot goes wide of the net and rings all around to the near side. Montagan hustles to it. He takes it away, gets it up ahead to Woodard. Woodard with Beckett. His pass just outside of Beckett's reach as they had an odd man 2-on-1 rush. Copeland throws it in on net. Brecky holds it in at the blue line. And SPLR clears out the center ice. Taken away by Copeland. He spins it back around to Woodard. Woodard gets knocked down to the blue line. Woodard gets up, picks up the loose puck. He's tied up as the rest of his teammates are making changes. 8 minutes remaining here in the third. Turnover. Colton stole that away. He's mad. He knew he had a prime scoring opportunity. Now pickpocketed away by Donnie Copeland. Copeland leads the charge up ahead for the Suds. Copeland shot softly on net. Donnie was looking for a little more pop on that one. Colton off the faceoff. Now it comes out to Calhoff on the wing. Calhoff goes cross ice over to Steen. Steen back to Hasbargen. Hasbargen's shot deflects up into the netting. Colton steps in to take this face off. SPLR down low. Steen walks the exit attempt. Now he walks out front. Sharp angled shot there. And the goaltender will hug the post wisely and squeeze that one for a face-off. Colton hands it off to Steen. Steen back to Colton. Now in the corner, SPL rings it around to the near side. And Oswald will have to come back out to center ice to get things settled down. They'll go to Hasbargen. Hasbargen up ahead for Steen. Now battle on the near board. Picked up by Oswald. They'll send it over to the far side to Hasbargen. Hasbargen to Steen up through the middle. Calhoff carries it in. And Colton Miller is now going to go to the box for hooking. 6:03 remaining. PR unable to hold at the blue line. Beckett pressures, steals it away. Gets the poke checked away, and SPLR sends it back up. Laha hands it off to Beckett. Beckett will dump it in. Long lead pass off the mark. Now Summers with it. Now SPLR steps up into the zone. Brecky pushes wide, centering pass, and slips right through the crease. SPLR from the blue line. Shot. Saved by Davis. He sticks that pad out. All 32 inches of that blocker pad on the ice. Squeezes it down for a whistle. Okay, maybe it's only 30 inches pad. 1 minute remaining here in the power play for SPLR. Monshaugen takes the face off. Nice job by Monshaugen, punching it outside the zone. Read that pass well. And SPLR enters into the zone offside. Face off. Punched away by Monshaugen. SPLR dumps it back deep. Oswald picks it up. He loses it as he gets poke checked away. Now SPR centering pass. One-timer. Saved by Davis. And Alexander Davis stretches out long and lean to cover that puck up. Nope. Face off control. Calhoff tips it up ahead to Colton. Colton with Steen. Steen centering pass. Steen's shot goes wide. Colton centers it for Calhoff. Now it rings to the far side. Steen gets pinched up against the boards. 3:30 remaining. Colton takes a slap shot on a bouncing puck. Poff pinches in the hole. Now Steen dumps it in. And SPLR chips it out. No icing, as I say, it was chip. Taken away by Oswald. Oswald gets it up ahead to Colton. Colton finds Calhoff cutting through the middle. Calhoff tries to leave it for Steen. He chips it to the corner. And SPLR comes back through center ice back the other direction. Nice step up there by Donnie Copeland. Donnie's showing his defensive abilities here today. Now Colton rings it around over to Cal Hoff. And Spud's able to clear out to center ice. SPLR back into the zone. Tip chance there. Now it's underneath Brecky. Brecky, whoa, quick shot there. Another pad save by Davis. And Mounshaugen up ahead. They tried to feed it through Summers, but that got tipped away by SPLR. A little physical here as Donnie takes the stick into the cage. That was offside. The Moorhead called, and then they call that icing. Minute 40 remaining here in the third. Spud leading 6-0. Taking on SPLR-CR. Spring Lake Park, Coon Rapids. Quick shot there off the face-off, and save off the Mounshaugen shot. SPL banks it off the board. Blaha gloves it down. Now he gets it up ahead to Summers. Beckett from the red line chips it in. 1 minute remaining. Beckett gloves that down, throws it in on net. Goaltender gloves that down, gives it to his defenseman. Beckett blocks that exit of front. Asbargen battles along the boards to keep it in. Summers. Asbargen steps up, throws it into the near corner. Everybody forgot about the puck. Beckett will pick up the loose puck. That's the centering pass. SPL will send it the distance, and that'll be another icing with under 36 remaining. So Moorhead will complete the pool play, going 3-0 with wins against Spring Lake Park and West Fargo today, and Edina yesterday. That'll move them into the championship bracket, which already looked at that. That's going to be at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Spuds will take on the winner of Chaskatchan and Mankato Gold. And that's the final here from the H.A. Thompson Arena. Spuds defeat Spring Lake Park 6-0. Spuds go 3-0 in pool play, moving them on to the championship round tomorrow. Semifinal match at 8 o'clock at the Farmers Union Arena. So from the H.A. Thompson Arena here in North Fargo, Moorhead defeats Spring Lake Park 6-0, moving them into the championship bracket. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow at the rink.